Hello, this is your author, Mark, coming to you with another interesting discussion. Now, this discussion will be called They Better Hurry. This is the title of the discussion, They Better Hurry. And the reason I say that is because lately I've been watching Fox Business Network, Fox News, and everything else, and all those talking heads are arguing, is there going to be a recession in the United States or isn't there going to be a recession? Well, the question is they're asking, is there going to be a recession in this country? And I'm going to say yes. And who's going to be the corporate that causes this recession? Uh, well, one of the corporates will be the Democrats, but they're not the only thing. They're not the only ones because there are several factors that will play into that will cause the recession on its own. One is the main factor will be is that if we don't achieve the peace in Ukraine, and if the inflation doesn't get under control, the Republicans will take a shellacking in the so-called midterm elections. Okay, that's a given. The second thing, the Democrats themselves will cause a recession in order to blame Donald J. Trump. Now, so you might be asking a question: who do you support in this election, Mark? The Democrats or the Republicans? Well, I'm going to tell you this right now: that both of those parties, whether a Republican or a Democrat, will lead you into the same place, which is the New World Order, in my opinion. One party will get you there slower, and the other party will get you there faster. Now, which one you will have to make a decision on that on your own. Now, a lot of talking heads, like I said, they're talking about is there going to be a recession or there isn't going to be one. Well, there is going to be a economic recession. It has to happen because without a recession, I mean, we have to flush. Like I said, we have to flush this and clean the economic system because this economic system wasn't even cleaned up after the 2008 debacle. Now, uh, like I said, I already mentioned the factors or what may happen. What may cause the recession is if we don't get the inflation under control, if we don't get the what do you call the border situation stabilized, which we have gotten that stabilized to some degree. Now, it was slowed down to a trickle, which it is a good thing. But if we don't get the inflation under control, if we don't get the peace in Ukraine thing going, if there's not going to be a peace in Ukraine deal, it's not going to be signed. Then we're going to be in serious trouble. Um, and then there's some other market what do you call financial market things that are going to happen that might cause that might be part of this recession also. So what I would do right now in this case, if I was going to buy something, whether I was going to buy a car, a house, or anything else, I, I would buy these items if I could afford them. I would buy them now because I mean, yes, it's going to get when the economy crashes, it will be. Uh, items like housing will definitely be cheaper. But here's why I would say if I was going to buy a house, a car, I would buy it now, is um, because then when this recession happens, ladies and gentlemen, it could be the worst of the worst recessions we would ever have. I, I will make a prediction that if this economy fails this time, it's going to be worse than the depression of 1930s, 1920s and 30s. That is my main concern, because but then here's the thing. Well, see, you don't understand, and I have written about this in many of my books, such as Progressive Credentialism versus Ageism, The American Holocaust, Start of the Coming Civil War, and Fall of the American Empire, and many of my other books that are still available on Amazon, which I'm going to leave a link to my books in the what do you call, in the description, and I'm going to leave a link to my books in the comments section as well. But but in reality, what I'm going to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, is that there is a lot of people say, oh, recession is not going to happen, blah blah blah. Well, the recession is coming. The recession and a major economic depression is coming, because here's why I said that if I was going to buy a house, I would buy it now. If I was going to buy a car, I would buy it now, because yes, it would be more prudent to buy these things after the crash. But here's the problem: when this crash happens, ladies and gentlemen, when this economic crash happens, the problem will be that the dollar itself, it will also lose power as the world reserve currency, and then basically the U.S. dollar will be worth nothing, because like I said, yes, the tariffs will help America sustain the economy for a short term, but in the long term, here's the problem: when this economic crashes, what I'm afraid of is that, for example, the countries that hold our debt, like China and Saudi Arabia and some other ones, what if they call our economic debt? And then what if also printing money will not work anymore, and then what? Our economy grinds into a stall, and then everything else will be kaput. Now, there are when it comes to the peace in Ukraine, see, the talking heads that are talking, they don't even know how to approach this problem, and that the reason is that many of the negotiator on our side in America don't know how to approach this Ukrainian crisis. Is they're saying, oh, we're talking, we're gonna get Russia to the table, we'll get Ukraine to the table, but in my opinion, the Ukrainian crisis are not going. Ukrainian and the Russian crisis are not. It's not going to get solved anytime soon. That is because the American side has a problem with basically understanding how the mind of the Slavic people works. They and I mentioned this before in my most of my YouTube videos, is that most of the American negotiators, they do not understand the meaning of what I call, like, Japanese people have this too, is basically losing face. Now, Vladimir Putin himself, he is kind of hesitant to go into negotiations with with Trump and Zelensky and all these people is because he doesn't want to lose his power, and he doesn't want to lose the face in front of his people, because you have to understand one thing: to the Russian and the Ukrainian, your how do you put this? Your honor is more important, and basically keeping your face than I mean humiliation to the Russian or to the Ukrainian. And honor is basically the most important thing that they have to play. Now, see, the thing is, the American people do not understand what honor means to the Ukrainian or the Russian. They don't understand what kind of impact a humiliation of the Russian or the Ukrainian, what kind of impact can it have on both of those people. So the reason that Vladimir Putin doesn't want to come to the negotiating table just yet, and Vladimir Zelensky doesn't want to come to the negotiating table just yet, is because what they want to do is they're trying to figure out how can both people save face, and that's why the American negotiating team has a big problem, because they do not understand how does the mind of the Slavic people work, and what it means to lose faith. That Americans do not understand what it means to lose face. They don't understand what honor means, and I mean, they're little. Some people, to some people, this might, understanding the Slavic mindset in this case might not be a big deal. But if you want to be a very successful negotiator, you better understand how the Russian and the Ukrainian minds think, and you better understand their customs and their culture in order to help you to be a better negotiator. Now, as far as our recession concerns are shaping up, personally, I wouldn't worry about the recession just yet, but I would start to be concerned about that, because if the Republicans lose in their midterm elections, because we have midterm elections coming soon in America, then if the Republicans lose control of the House and the Senate, then this is where the trouble will start. And I'm going to tell you right now is that the Democratic Party will not, they will basically they will go after Trump and his policies with everything they got, because and to be honest with you, I don't support either the Republicans or the Democrats, because all, in my opinion, both parties are messed up. Both parties have lost interest in helping the American people. So, I mean, one does a better job than the other, but in my opinion, both do not have the interest of helping the American people. But both Republicans and Democrats are only interested in helping themselves. So, I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I want and I am going to leave the link to my books down below. You can make a comment. You can subscribe my channel, and if you like this, then you can give me a like. You can also give me you can subscribe my channel if you like these videos. Then you can also make a comment on my Facebook or on my channel, and tell me what you think of my videos. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you in the next